The Bodhisattva Path, from personal enlightenment to collective awakening. Introduction. The vast and diverse traditions of Buddhism. The Bodhisattva path holds a unique place of prominence, especially within Mahayana Buddhism, while the Theravada tradition often emphasizes the pursuit of arahantship, the personal liberation from the cycle of birth and death. Mahayana expands this vision to encompass a more collective dimension of awakening. At its core lies the vow of the Bodhisattva, to strive not only for one's own enlightenment, but also to remain in the world of samsara, until all sentient beings are liberated. This ideal represents one of the most profound developments in Buddhist thought. It challenges practitioners to balance personal realization with boundless compassion, integrating wisdom and altruism into a single, inseparable path. In this essay, we will explore the origins, philosophical foundations, practices, challenges, and transformative significance of the Bodhisattva path, showing how it bridges the personal pursuit of liberation with the universal quest for collective awakening. Origins of the Bodhisattva. Ideal. The term Bodhisattva literally means awakening being, Bodhi, awakening, Sattva equals being. In early Buddhism, the word was primarily used to refer to the Buddha Shakyamuni in his previous lives, as depicted in the Jataka tales. These stories illustrated his gradual accumulation of virtues across countless lifetimes, culminating in his final birth, where he attained Buddhahood. However, with the rise of Mahayana Buddhism around the 1st century CE, the Bodhisattva ideal was universalized. No longer limited to the historical Buddha, the path was envisioned as one that any practitioner could undertake. This marked a turning point in Buddhist thought. Instead of aspiring solely to one's own nirvana, practitioners were encouraged to embrace a broader vow, the liberation of all beings. The Bodhisattva vow became the defining hallmark of Mahayana texts such as the Lotus Sutra, Avatamsaka, Sutra Flower, Ornament Sutra, and Vimalakirti Sutra elaborated the grandeur of this ideal, portraying the Bodhisattva as a cosmic figure embodying infinite compassion and wisdom. In this light, personal awakening is not abandoned but expanded, serving as the foundation for universal compassion. The Bodhisattva vow. To the heart of the Bodhisattva path lies the Bodhisattva vow, often expressed as sentient beings are numberless. I vow to liberate them all. Delusions are inexhaustible. I vow to extinguish them. Dharma gates are boundless. I vow to master them. The Buddha's way is unsurpassable. I vow to realize it. This vow simultaneously acknowledges the infinite scope of suffering and the seemingly impossible task of universal liberation. Yet, paradoxically, it is precisely in this impossibility that the vow gains its transformative power. The Bodhisattva accepts an endless commitment, embodying an aspiration that transcends personal limitations and continually propels one forward in practice. Two pillars of the Bodhisattva path, compassion and wisdom. The Bodhisattva path rests on two inseparable foundations: compassion, karu R, and wisdom, praj. Compassion, karu. Our compassion is not mere empathy, but a radical willingness to share in the suffering of others and work tirelessly for their liberation. In Mahayana texts, the Bodhisattva is often depicted as embodying a love so vast that it embraces all beings, regardless of their actions or conditions. Compassion prevents wisdom from becoming cold, detachment. Wisdom prajik, wisdom, particularly the realization of anyat emptiness, is equally essential. Without wisdom, compassion can be misguided or limited. Emptiness teaches that all phenomena, including the self, are devoid of inherent existence. This insight dissolves the duality between self and other, grounding compassion in the recognition that liberating others is inseparable from liberating oneself. Together, compassion and wisdom form the two wings of a bird only, with both can. The Bodhisattva soar on the path to enlightenment. The six perfections promise. The Bodhisattva's journey is structured around the practice of the six perfections. Promise, DNA, generosity, cultivating selfless giving, not only of material goods, but also of dharma and fearlessness. Quola, ethical conduct, upholding moral discipline to avoid harming oneself and others. Kajjanti, patience, developing the capacity to endure difficulties and insults without anger. Vriya, energy, effort, generating relentless diligence in cultivating virtues and aiding others. Dhyana, meditation, establishing deep concentration that stabilizes the mind and fosters clarity. Prajna, wisdom, perfecting insight into emptiness, the crown of all virtues. These perfections are not sequential steps, but interdependent practices. Each supports the others, weaving together a holistic cultivation of both inner transformation and outward service. Stages of the Bodhisattva. Path Mahayana philosophy further refines the Bodhisattva journey into stages, particularly in the 10 Bhimis grounds, as outlined in texts like the Avatamsaka Sutra. Each stage represents a deepening realization of wisdom and compassion, culminating in Buddhahood itself. The first Bhimi marks the initial awakening of Bodhisattva, the mind of enlightenment. Subsequent stages involve mastery of the promise, transcendence of subtle defilements, and expansion of skillful means. Upcure, the 10th Bhimi, is the threshold of Buddhahood, where the Bodhisattva stands on the brink of perfect awakening. This progression emphasizes that enlightenment is not a sudden leap, but a gradual cultivation across vast eons. From personal enlightenment to collective awakening, the Bodhisattva path does not deny the importance of personal enlightenment. In fact, the realization of emptiness and cessation of suffering are essential foundations. However, unlike the path of the solitary saint, the Bodhisattva refuses to abide in nirvana until all beings are liberated. This orientation transforms the meaning of enlightenment. It is no longer a private achievement, but a relational reality, shared liberation that dissolves the boundaries between self and others. Awakening becomes collective in nature, echoing the Mahayana vision of interdependence. Challenges of the Bodhisattva path is not without its difficulties. Its infinite scope can be daunting. Practitioners may feel overwhelmed by the suffering of the world or discouraged by their own limitations. Furthermore, the danger of egos subtly co-opting altruism, pride in being a bodhisattva can distort the path. Mahayana teachings address these challenges through the cultivation of skillful means upkya and non-attachment. Skillful means allows the bodhisattva to adapt teachings to the capacities of beings, while non-attachment ensures that compassion does not become entangled in clinging or self-importance. Exemplars of the bodhisattva ideal throughout history. Countless figures have embodied the bodhisattva ideal. Canonical bodhisattvas such as Avalokiteshvara Guanyin, Canon, the embodiment of compassion, or Manju, are the personification of wisdom, serve as archetypes inspiring practitioners in lived practice, teachers, monks, nuns, and lay practitioners. Across centuries have exemplified bodhisattva qualities, often in humble and unseen ways. Their lives testify that the Bodhisattva path is not a distant ideal but a living reality accessible to all. The contemporary relevance of the Bodhisattva path in our modern world, marked by ecological crises, social injustice, and existential anxieties, the Bodhisattva ideal holds profound relevance. To embrace the Bodhisattva path today is to embody a form of engaged spirituality, one that does not withdraw from the world but seeks to heal it from within. Modern teachers such as Thich Nhat Hanh have articulated this vision as engaged Buddhism, where meditation and social action converge. In this way, the Bodhisattva vow finds new expression in addressing contemporary challenges, demonstrating that enlightenment is inseparable from compassionate action in the world. Conclusion: the Bodhisattva path represents one of the most inspiring and transformative visions within Buddhism. It begins with the spark of personal awakening but blossoms into an infinite vow embracing all beings, rooted in compassion and wisdom, structured through the promise, and guided by profound vows. The Bodhisattva ideal transcends the dichotomy between self and other, private and collective, nirvana and samsara. By walking this path, practitioners do not abandon personal liberation, but fulfill it through service to others. The Bodhisattva shows that true enlightenment is not an escape from the world, but a deep embrace of it, where wisdom and compassion merge into boundless activity. In the end, the Bodhisattva path invites us to reconceive enlightenment itself not as the culmination of an individual journey, but as the shared awakening of all beings.